Hey, Nick here. Working on the 61 Cadillac door. Now, as you know, my Mr. Gold has a damaged door. See the dented door? Okay, I got this at the wrecking yard where I bought the car. It's a white door. I'm gonna have it painted. It's in good shape. All the chrome is good. Everything's good. Window doesn't go up or down. But I'm going to take this apart slowly and carefully, not only so I can remember how it comes apart, but to help you guys, and anybody has a 61, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5, they're probably all similar. I got a buddy who's got a 64, and a lot of that car in many ways is identical to this 61 in mechanical ways, not styling obviously, but mechanically. It's funny, that car has the same cross member that I changed on this car. Remember in the front, the strut rods were attached to it, and the 64 has the same cross member, but they strengthened it. They added a couple more struts to it underneath. That was interesting. They knew the problem existed, so they put a couple more struts. So I may do that. I may get some of those or make them or whatever and then weld them. Because I know this because I went and helped a friend of mine in Grand Junction who has a 64 Cadillac convertible, and he needed my help putting it together. So I learned a lot about that car. So anyway, I'm gonna get started right now. All right, first thing I noticed, the rod that opens the door coming from this is the inside door handle mechanism. Here's the rod that goes to the latch assembly. This clip is on wrong. This should be underneath this lever and then clipped to here. Somebody might have had this off before, who knows, probably, and they put it on wrong. This is to help hold this to this lever, to hold this rod to this lever. Now, if this was just clipped on here, if you're thinking, well, how do you know that? What's its purpose if it was just clipped on here right now, like that? What's its purpose? It's got no purpose. It's not doing anything. But if it's under here, under this lever, if the clip is under this lever and then clipped to this rod, it would hold it on, help to hold it on. It's not coming off anyway because it's got this, it's bent, and it's got this, the rod comes out, goes down, and then is bent out again. Not coming off anyway. So the clip is really redundant, but just to show you, that's how it goes. So let's take this off. 7/16. So now this can go like that and just slip right off the end of this rod. See? So the clip should go on after. This goes on like that, and then the clip goes on like that. See? Pushes on underneath. Clips, they have a purpose. So if you're doing a latch assembly, you have to figure out what the purpose is. Just don't leave it unhooked. Don't get me started. Now, the rod has a sheath on it. Can you see that? The sheath, right? It's a fabric covering the rod, and it's got decoration too. Looks like, like Indian decoration or something. Sorry. Native American decoration. My bad. This was all crunched up. This was all slid forward and piled up here. The Thunderbirds have a clip in the middle to help hold this. You could tie wrap this along the way, tape it or tie wrap it on each end. This is for vibration. So as opposed to Okay? It's a lot different. So these are the nuts, the hardware for this latch assembly. There's 3 of them. They're all the same. Can you see those? I guess you can. It's hard for me to tell. Okay? Okay, I'm going to take the door handle assembly off. Now, right there and right there. Now I know it's blurry, but there's a bolt there, hex bolt, just like that one, right there. And then there's the button assembly that has a little rod in it. It pushes the latch assembly right there. I got the handle off. Here's the 2 hex screws, 5/16 head, machine screws. These are machine screws. They have threads to go in a nut or a bolt. Sheet metal goes into sheet metal only, not nuts or bolts. See the rod that pushes, you push the button, pushes the latch assembly on the inside and releases it. Now I'm going to take off the latch assembly right here. Okay, I'm going to take those 3 Phillips screws out and the latch assembly, 4 of them, sorry. The latch assembly should come right out with the lock rod. Okay, I had to loosen those before I filmed it because it sounded like I was, you know, dropping a load. So they were on there, man. So anyway, there's 4 of these things. Got a big screwdriver, you know, number 3 or something like that. I forgot. Regular screwdrivers are number 2, smaller ones are number 1, something like that. This thing hasn't been lubed in a billion years. Don't strip these out. Every T-Bird I see, these are in really good shape. Every T-Bird I see, these screws are stripped out. Every one. People don't use the right screwdriver. They strip them. They don't put enough pressure on them. And then they just let the screwdriver turn. Don't do that. If you had touch-up paint, see the paint comes off. And if you had touch-up paint after you put them back in, you can touch them up with touch-up paint. Oh, it's connected to this rod too. That's the lock rod. And see, this has a sheath over it too. Do you see that? I'm talking about stuff. You can't even see it. Here, see? This is the lock rod. The lock rod comes out up there, right? So this goes to that mechanism, and then the lock rod comes out up there. Whoops, sorry. And this is covered with a sheath too to prevent it from rattling. And there's a clip to hold it right there like a T-Bird has. Okay, see, there's the latch assembly. Where am I? There's one bolt that holds the handle on, and there's the other bolt, okay? And that's what the latch assembly, there's the rod for the door open right here, okay? There's the inside latch assembly, so I'm gonna take that off. I'm gonna take the handle off first, and then I'll take the latch assembly out. Okay, so this is here, I found this in the car because I took the other door apart. This is the door open rod on the inside, right? It's got that's the latch assembly end. And this is the other end I showed you the clip on that connects to the door handle assembly. Okay, and it's got that sheath. You got to keep that on there. All right, I got the clip off. It's It's hard to see. My camera's messing up, man, so I can't do real close-ups. Anyway, that's the clip. I'll show you how it works once I get this out of the door. All right, here's the door open rod and here's the clip. These clips, they push in like this, and then they lock down like that. Okay? See? That's how these clips work. So to get them off, you push them up, and then the rod slips out. Okay? All right, I'm gonna unscrew this. Okay. Okay. Now these two are holding the small rail for the third roller. All right, so I got the regulator loose. I moved the window down a smidgen, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna take this track out if I can. I don't remember if that came out so easily. That track is right here. It's in the door like that. So it's held on there and it's held on here. Something on the door. Oh yeah. Here. That's up here. There's a nut up here. So this little bracket that was holding it. There's a bolt, not a nut. There's a bolt up here. All right, that's this thing, right? It was in like that, right up here. Okay. And then this one went through here. Okay. Right like that. Just like this one is. Just like that. Okay. Something's attached here. Here's another one. That's this one, okay? There's another one here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 total. Okay. This one's got an extra rod on it that's connected here that goes up to the window. And that's on a roller. Or maybe the window has that. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so that doesn't want to come out. Boy, there's a rod in here. There's a lever attached to the window, and I'm going to show you that over here. This lever, here's the bottom of the window. This is out of the door in the car. This lever was attached. Oh, is that thing stiff or what? Whoa. See, that was in the track, and then this is the bottom of the window, and it was attached. And this was also attached in there. So those two rollers were in here, and I had to slide it. I had to slide it down off of those and manipulate this in the door to have enough room to get it out. The regulator was in the way. The motor was in the way. So Anyway, that's how that works. So when it goes back together again, this has to be slid back in and slid onto this and slid onto that. Now, once it's put back together again, all this stuff will be clean, greased. If I reuse this window, I'm gonna have to do something about this. This is hard, really bad. This one, yeah, it's just nothing to it. It's loose and free, so, okay. Look at this. There's the screw right there in that hole for the rail, for this rail, which is screwed to the bottom of the window to come out. Now the other one is over here, and you can just, let me get a light. You see it? Right there. So I have to unscrew those. And you're not going to be able to watch because you can't get the camera in there. So I'll come right back. All right, so I just took this thing off. This plastic cup was in here, and I don't know what it's for. Anyway, I had to pry it out to get it out. It's got a little lip underneath to hold it in. So I took this big, huge screwdriver, pried it out. So I got that out. I'm gonna take this other one out, this other track out. Oh, right there. Yeah, so here. Okay, this has got two. What I mean by that is it's got this one, and these are adjustments to move it in or out in the door. Right there and down here. I just undid this one, but it's got this one here. See, this is the front rail. Okay, and I undid these. So let's undo that one, and that'll be the last one. So those are adjustments to move it in and out, like this, in and out. Okay, I got this rail loose. I got it loose, not out, and not disconnected from the window. But I've got it disconnected from the door, and it's kind of at an angle like this. Normally it would sit here like that, but I've got it like jammed in there like that. I'm gonna get this screw out of here from this window rail. I'm gonna take this one out. These are those little countersunk screws. See? Oh, look at that. Okay, so what I did, oh yeah. I see how I turned the window clockwise. See, you got to be more careful than that. I wasn't careful. I got it though. Lucky. Now, the rail will come off and the regulator will come out. Take this one off. I forgot to take the idler rail, the little small one. Take that one off. I'm going to put all these screws back in their holes in a second. All these bolts back in their holes. Okay, that'll slide right off. There we go. Screw these back on. Okay. Now let's see what happens. Okay. Okay, here comes the rail, right? Now the regulator is loose. The regulator and motor. Now putting this out with the motor. Let's see if we can get this rail out of here. Here's the forward rail. put the nuts, put the hardware back on it. Okay. Here. Okay, here's the regulator. Now, let's see why this wasn't working. Ground. Okay. Power. Oh, it worked. Barely. Just wouldn't work, you know, because the rails were too, there was no lubrication. The rollers were stuck in the rails. That's why it didn't work. I probably could have lubed everything as best I could in the door, but at least now we know the motor is good. That's good to know. So let's put the hardware back on. We can take the window out. We've got one more thing. We've got the upper window stops we have to take out still. Here's one. Right there, see? And there's 2 Phillips screws, okay? And the other side is the same way. So we'll take that off. Now that takes a bigger Phillips, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if we're going to get the other one. The inside one. Yeah, this is loose. Is that one loose? Yep, that one was loose too. That's weird. Well, lucky me, right? I didn't have to become a contortionist to get it out. Okay, so there's one window stop. So I'm going to put these screws back in the window. Okay, these Phillips screws, see? For the upper window stops. Okay, so here's the other one, and I can get to that through here. Loose. There it is. Upper window stops. I'll put those back in when I get the window out. This should pull right out. Yeah. Okay. All right, here's the window. Right. That's it. Okay, see how loose that is? The other one is different. It's weird. It's got a different stud holding it, the other one. Different rivet or whatever you want to call that. Oh, this has got a nut on the end of it. So that can be unbolted. Okay, now you know how to disassemble all the door mechanisms on a 1961 Cadillac. This is a 4-door. This is a 6-window sedan DeVille with the quarter window in the roof. Some of these have the quarter window in the door. This one does not have that. This one has the quarter window in the roof. The mechanism is probably the same. You know, it's going to be a little bit different dimensions maybe because the window is smaller or bigger. And then I have Mr. Green is the 4-window sedan DeVille. So the door is a little bit different design in the sense that it doesn't have a quarter window at all. It's got that wraparound rear window. So again, that's probably the same thing. Probably a little bit different, but probably basically the same. I would imagine 62, 3, 4, maybe 5 are probably all the same or similar. Similar enough that you could take those out. Okay? Good luck. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and hit that like button.